All right, here's the scenario. Someone comes up to you and asks you to plan a 1-hour lesson, but you only have 20 minutes to plan and prepare that lesson. Do you think you can do it? This is a real-life design challenge that many teachers face from time to time. And so I thought it would be fun to force myself to design a 1-hour lesson in less than 20 minutes, but to also talk through my process. So that way you can understand, what do I think about when I'm trying to assemble one of these lessons, and how do I use the PPP framework in order to help me do that. And so inside this box, I've placed a few different topics of potential lessons that I could have to teach and be ready to teach in 20 minutes. So let's choose a topic and see if I can use this PPP structure to quickly and easily plan a 1-hour lesson. My topic is animals. Let's do this. All right, so before we begin planning any lesson, we usually need to think about, what's my topic? What vocabulary will we be teaching and learning? Who are my students? What's their level? What are their interests? What kind of resources do I have available? And is there a list of standards or learning outcomes that I need to meet while I'm teaching this lesson? Or is there a particular curriculum that I need to follow, such as a syllabus or textbook? Or am I just making this up from scratch? Once I get all those things sorted out, I can start outlining my lesson. So for this lesson, I drew the topic of animals. And for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to assume that I have a mixed level group, which is the case in some of your hardest teaching contexts where you don't have just beginners or just advanced, but you might actually have students from all the different levels. So I'm going to assume that I have beginners all the way up to advanced. And I'm going to assume that they know basic verbs and adjectives, at least. I also know that I want to make my lesson communicative. This is because of my teaching style, my teaching method. And this means that I actually want to finish my lesson with something challenging, such as a role play, or maybe an information gap or something like that. So that's my goal to get to by the end of this lesson. And in our make-believe scenario here, I'm going to assume that I have the ability to print photos. Some places you teach, you may not have a printer available, or you may not have time to go and print some things. So in that case, I'd have to get a little creative and maybe hand draw some things, or find another way to do this lesson than using the photos. But I know that animals are fun to look at, so if I can find some photos to use, then that's going to work really well, I think. And just looking at what I have here, I think that I'm going to do a fun little vocabulary lesson about the names of animals, which are nouns, and kind of build off of whatever verbs and adjectives the students know in order to make some fun sentences. It's going to be communicative, it's going to be visual, and I'm going to try and do it so that anybody from beginner to advanced can kind of get something from this lesson and be challenged and have some fun at the same time. So that is the challenge ahead of us. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. We're going to set a timer, and I'm going to talk my way through this so you kind of understand some of the logic and process that I go through when planning a PPP lesson. Are we ready? Let's go. So the place that we're going to begin is our warm-up. And I'm going to start with a fun warm-up activity that will kind of get the students intrigued about this topic of animals. So one that I find really intriguing is called 20 questions. And for 20 questions, basically, I just need to get an animal toy in a box. So I like to do this using my trusty little mystery box here. Inside the box, I have placed a toy animal of some kind, which are easy to find from any small child's bedroom. If this was about another topic, then you could find something else to put in here. Basically, I'm going to have the students shake the box and ask questions, guessing what they think is inside. So let's write some quick notes about this. We're going to do the activity 20 questions. I've got an animal toy inside a box. I'm going to have students, and you'll notice that I'm using a large S and a small s for students, and I might use a T for teacher. This is a shorthand that will save you a lot of time when you're planning your lessons, so you can do that sort of thing if you like. So I'm going to have students guess what's in the box. And while they guess, I'm going to write their answers in 2 columns. Now, since I have paper, it's actually easy for me to draw a little picture of how I want to do this. So I'm going to have a yes column and a no column. When a student guesses correctly about the animal in the box, I'll write their answer in the yes column. If they guess something incorrectly, like does it have large ears, then their answer would go in the no column. This is a simple, fun activity you can do on a lot of different topics, and that's what I'm going to do for my little warm-up here. Now I could go right into my presentation next, but I like to do one other little short activity as part of my warm-ups, and I call that a personal link. And this is a simple activity where I just ask a question. I get the students thinking about this topic of animals, but in a personal way. And so this is a way of linking this topic to their personal life, their personal experience. So the way I might write this is have students discuss in pairs, or it could be in small groups if you wanted. This works really well just at your tables with whoever is at your table with you. So students discuss in pairs this question. Something big and unusual and superlative often makes a good personal link. Something meaningful to the student will as well. I'm going to say, give them this question. What is the strangest animal you've ever seen? So if this lesson was about grocery shopping, I could ask them about what was your favorite store to go shopping. If this was about food, I could ask them, what is your favorite kind of food? A personal link is just getting them to think about the topic in a personal way in order to build interest and get them ready to learn this topic. So for our personal link for this animal lesson is, what is the strangest animal you've ever seen? That's it. I'm done now with my warm-up section, and we are going to move on to the presentation.